I've been asked to give a talk about self-defense that I'm going to be giving later on this week. I wanted to take an opportunity to share some of the information and some of the points that I'm going to be discussing at this talk that I'm going to be giving on Friday. So, when people hear that I'm going to be giving a self-defense class, the first thought is that I'm going to be showing them a whole bunch of physical techniques and movements and things of that nature. Honestly, if you find yourself in a situation where you have to physically defend yourself, then there are several things that you should have been aware of and taken action on that you missed, that had you been aware of and made the proper choices based on that information, then more than likely you would not have had to physically defend yourself. And that's really the crux of a lot of the information that I'm going to share. There's 3 levels when we're talking about self-defense, so to speak. The first level is just deterrence. If I am a criminal or have criminal intent, or I sustain myself by taking advantage of people, then my primary skill set is going to be identifying people I can take advantage of, or identifying situations that I can take advantage of. An unlocked car door. Somebody who announces on Facebook that they're going to be on vacation for a week. These are things that I can take advantage of because you've given me this information, or you've had some sort of gap in your awareness, or some sort of gap in your ability to make correct judgments. I'm going to take advantage of that. So for me, what I need to do is exercise better judgment, exercise better awareness, not make myself into a target, either in the way that I carry myself or the way that I maintain my personal effects. That might be my car, my home, what have you. So that's key. Second level that kind of overlaps with awareness and deterrence is detection. Noticing when something is not quite what it should be. If you're walking, or maybe even if you're driving, has this person been following you for a longer period of time than might be considered coincidental? You might want to take notice of that. Notice when people notice you. People size you up. That whole thing I was talking about with being able to recognize a victim if I intend to victimize somebody. Recognize when somebody is making that evaluation about you. You might want to notice that. Good example. There was a woman, I think it was earlier this year, who was a victim of a violent assault. It might have been on the Patco high-speed line or one of the other trains that run through Philly. This woman was sitting on a platform minding her own business. Some dude walked up to her and asked her the usual, I don't know, it might have been, do you have any change? Can I get a cigarette? Do you know what time it is? Etc. Sometimes that's a legitimate question. Sometimes it's somebody probing you to see who they're dealing with. You need to be aware of whether or not that's the case. Unfortunately for this woman, that was the case, because when she directed her attention elsewhere, thinking about answering this guy's question, he turned around and punched her right in the face, probably knocked her out, and then proceeded to drag her body onto the platform, onto the train tracks, and left her there. And this was all caught on surveillance camera, which is how they managed to apprehend the suspect. But that just goes to say, be mindful. Notice when somebody doesn't look quite right. Notice when somebody's behavior is just a little bit unusual. Notice when somebody's interaction with you is a little bit off. Notice these things. And then last but not least, of course, is actual physical defense. There's no class you're going to go to. There's no seminar you're going to go to that's going to give you a solid ability to defend yourself physically. If that's something that you want to do, if that's something that you want to, if that's an ability rather that you want to obtain, then you need to do some research and find an instructor and spend a significant amount of time studying with that instructor. That's the only way you're going to be able to get any sort of reliable ability to defend yourself physically. Because anything that you learn in a one day, even a one weekend setting, under stress and under pressure, that stuff's just going to fly out the window. You're not going to remember any of that stuff. So you need to find an instructor, and find an instructor who's going to be able to teach you in a way that changes your nature such that whatever the circumstances might be, you're going to be able to handle it. There's plenty of stuff that you can look into as far as researching, who's available in your area and whether they're going to be able to provide what you need. If you want some advice, you can shoot me an email. You can contact me via this channel or whatever website or page that you're viewing this video on will more than likely have my contact information. Study with me if you like. Shameless plug. But there are plenty of really good instructors out there, and I'd be more than happy to help you evaluate what your options are depending on where you live. That's pretty much all I got to say. Be safe. I hope you never have to use any of the information that I just shared. But again, be aware, be mindful, deter, detect, and last but not least, find somebody who's going to teach you how to defend. Good night.